Hello!
It's been a while since we recorded a review in here.
Yeah, I can't remember when was the last one we did.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull up the plot synopses of the episodes just so I have some reminders
Alright,
of each
so
episode.
I thought about doing this episode by episode, but then I started watching it. I was like, I'm not sure I want to dedicate that much time to it. So we're just going to do the review on the whole season of The Defenders.
Or most of it at least.
Or most of it at least. I was thinking we could talk about all of it.
I think so, yeah. Because it's like, what, 10 minutes an episode usually?
Like, even then, I'm saying just talk about the show as a whole. I don't think we need to go over each individual episode.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So I misunderstood you.
No. I was like, this one of those things, like, I feel like after like the first couple episodes we kind of lose steam in the remaining reviews. So like, let's just cover all of it now. Just
good.
how does this show stand as a whole in comparison to the other Marvel and Netflix shows. General thoughts, for me at least. I like most of it. Like, it was very fan servicey, but that's not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was entertaining in a lot of aspects. Flawed, abso-fucking-lutely. Danny Rand can go fuck himself.
I'm glad they made him more tolerable, though.
Did they? Because I thought he was more intolerable here.
Yeah, but here, people call him out on his shit.
Which were the best scenes in the fucking show.
And that takes him down a peg, which makes him a lot better to have around because we get to laugh at him this time.
Yeah. Like, again, it just felt like somebody in the writing room is aware that, like, yeah, we didn't exactly give him the best reputation.
Yeah. It also felt like, okay, unfortunately, we have to go based on what the previous dumbass did. So
yeah.
It's like, our hands are tied, we can't do a 180 without making it seem like he's suddenly Mr. Oh.
No, so he's still a self-righteous twat. There goes my monetization for this video. But I'm like, I think I'd say I liked it better than the Iron Fist. I'll say that much.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like, I mean, it drops the ball at the end, and we'll get to that. Mostly because like the way one character ends, I thought was a huge letdown. You probably know what I'm thinking of.
I'm thinking of a lot of letdowns in that ending. It's like once episode 6 hit, it's like, oh.
Yeah. So, what were your general thoughts on the show?
It was decent.
Yeah.
This was definitely the second weakest, although thankfully it is still what I'd put in the good camp.
Yeah, I would too.
Because like for me, I made my
Iron Fist are just so utterly forgettable.
Because means I made my other things clear. It's like I liked it. It was like Daredevil season 1, Jessica Jones. I think actually the shows did kind of get weaker as they went along. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, they're kind of on par, although they each have their strengths and weaknesses. I think Jessica Jones is
I still say Jessica Jones is still the best one they've done, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Actually, I take that back. Jessica Jones is better because that had a way better villain and it ended on a way stronger note compared to Luke Cage.
True. Luke Cage I really liked because it did, I think, it was a very different show.
Yeah.
And it fully accepted his identity. Like, it didn't try to be anything more than what it was.
Like, it acted as a straight-up blaxploitation film.
Yeah, and that explored a lot about Harlem culture. So,
yeah, I love that, too. And also the fact that, as someone pointed out, he really was, like, the most moral of the heroes.
Yeah, especially towards the end of the Defenders, which we'll get to, because that was kind of a point.
Yeah.
And I know you know what I'm talking about. The major accident with no repercussions, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
How'd you do that with no consequences? But anyway.
I don't know. You do it on a work holiday, apparently?
Apparently. Well, we covered for this, guys, but it's Labor Day, so...
And they still all got paid! Yeah!
Oh, God.
Yeah,
so, I would agree. Like, I still call it good. I'd still say Jessica Jones, Daredevil Season 1, Luke Cage, Daredevil Season 2, Defenders, and Iron Fist. Yeah. Which I still like Daredevil Season 2 a lot, but man, that ending dropped the ball big time.
I'd say this one dropped the ball harder, but at the same time...
I disagree.
However, even though I think the ending for this one was worse, it was more forgivable. Because Defenders never really reached reach the potential heights that Daredevil season 2 did.
Which what made me mad about the season 2 finale of that one, because like you had such a good opportunity to make this the most awesome kick-ass finale I possibly could have with this show. Because except when they established Punisher had a goddamn minigun, all they had to do was have him show up to team with Daredevil, Elektra. Punisher's mowing down ninjas with a giant ass fucking minigun. They're doing karate moves and shit in the background. Could have been fucking awesome, but they dropped it completely. I was so pissed off. Like, you have to instead you have this Punisher spell that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
And all I ever said, like, kind of like Killer Croc in the Lego Batman movie, you have him just like shoot one ninja with a sniper rifle, just like, go, I did something, and then disappear into the night.
Dark Knight.
Sad. Like that was my issue with that one. Here, like, I was annoyed, and it was also like a lot of shit happens. I'm gonna go, Not to mention one of the worst green screen effects I've seen in a long fucking time.
You'll probably have to give me a reminder of that one. When we
It's the elevator shaft.
I think I remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That one, yeah, that was like, oh wow, that's embarrassing.
Admittedly,
bad.
I watched this on a smaller TV at a lower resolution. You're probably watching 4K.
Close to. So I was like, oh man, this is embarrassing. But anyway, so like, let's talk about what we liked about the show. For starters, one of the characters do have good chemistry.
Yeah. I like that. They all kept their distinct personalities, for better or for worse. Mostly for the better. 3 out of 4 is better.
Like, really, it's just Danny Rand. Whenever he opens his fucking pie hole, everyone's like, shut the fuck up, Danny!
That being said, though, he did get a couple good laughs from me. Like, what was when they're at the Chinese restaurant? Ooh, is that the pork? Are those the pork fried buns? No, that Daredevil just...
That's true.
No,
That's true.
Oh.
No,
There's the pork.
Ooh.
All right!
See, like, and that's where I want that character to be. But right now, he has such a gigantic fucking stick up his ass.
Because, yeah, I've been told that was classic... That was classic
Much
Iron
more
Fist.
closer to Danny Rand.
What my friend put it, he was supposed to be like happy-go-lucky Buddhist monk in essence.
He really is. He really is. I'm not like, Iron Fist's not even my favorite character, admittedly, but I've read enough about him to go like, he's not this.
He's supposed to be acting like he's on Xanax all the time.
Kinda. The one that pissed me off about this is like he has such a high level of self-importance.
Yeah.
The fact that he's become a meme online, I don't know if you've seen this recently, where everyone like is like, what's your name? Danny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist protector of Kylun. Like over like cats' faces and shit.
Yeah. And then she's like, this is Jon Snow, he's king of the North.
Kinda. Well, it's like that. One of the best ones I saw was like your crush, her father, and all that stuff, and it just said like picture of the girl, and like the rest were pictures of him with different parts of that line. So your crush, the immortal, next to it, Iron Fist, protector of Kylun. Oh god. But like at the same time, the best parts of that were just when they called him out on his bullshit. My favorite one was Luke Cage. He was kind of like, "You are a white privileged boy. Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, it's like you had power. It's like you had power the moment you like from the very beginning. It's like even if it wasn't the same power, he had some sort of power.
Yeah, and I liked those two together, mostly because like
they also got pretty buddy.
They got the roller coaster to do with the comics too.
Yeah, I know because they're like supposed to be really great.
They're heroes. They're the heroes for hire. Like that's how they were they started out back in the day. Is it Heroes for Hire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I'd love to see that in a show that actually when they finally knock Iron Fist off his high horse. The thing that makes that character start fresh, and it kind of brought up issues with the Iron Fist show too, is the fact that he's, for someone who was such a high level of self-importance, he is so stupid.
And incompetent.
Like
for being the world's greatest martial artist, Daredevil tends to do a lot better than you.
Daredevil's like remarkably competent compared to season 2 Daredevil in this show, which I really liked actually. They kind of redeemed his character from season 2 a bit. Even though they did kind of have that weird, like almost like treating an addiction patient with him with Daredevil, which I thought was kind of a weird angle.
Wait, what?
Well, like how Karen and Foggy are saying, like, are you going back to being in the suit?
Oh,
and all
yeah,
that stuff.
thing.
Which I was kind of like, why does Karen have a problem with this? I feel like she'd be all on board with it.
No, I remember, like, it was very... I could understand her not being okay with it, given how, like, she, like the way they felt like it kind of ended it. As well as how she was, really pissed off at how it became kind of a lie.
Yeah,
So
like I'm kind of glad they finally got that out there, because that never made any sense to me why they even kept that a secret by the time season 2 rolled around, and she's actively defending the Punisher. I was like, yeah, well, I'm Daredevil. Oh, how? And then you do all that, but
yeah.
But yeah, so like, and Iron Fist gets used literally by like every character in his own goddamn show. He's the most naive motherfucker in any of these stupid shows. Like, even Daredevil's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Iron Fist is like, I totally trust you for reasons that you totally don't deserve. Like, mysterious person that somehow knows everything about the hand, I'm gonna trust you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the bad guy? Shock.
Yeah.
If I were the guy that faked his own death and pretended to be dead for, like, decades.
Oh, I assumed he actually was dead and came back to life.
Well, he was, but at the same time, at the time, that's what he thought.
Right.
It's like, I'm gonna trust you completely and be surprised when you stab me in the back at the end of the show. He did this with every stupid character.
Yep.
And here, he just gets used by more people. And then gets mad when everyone turns on him.
Yeah, well, I do know that also they did say that this is supposed to be like a further stepping stone of him kind of like finally getting that point where he realizes he's not the hottest shit and supposed to like...
Hopefully.
Because I remember the writer said this whole season was supposed to be like a learning experience for Danny.
I hope so. I hope so.
And of course, obviously, the Iron Fist, God, the showrunner was so clueless. He was like, he's supposed to have like this innocent naivete that's supposed to make him likable. It's like...
No, he makes him stupid!
Yeah, it's like, yeah, there's a difference between naivete and idiocy.
It's just such an idiot. Like, I kept thinking that one scene in the last season of Community where it was like, have you seen the last season of Community?
I have not.
There's a scene where like the girl, like the woman who takes over like all the managing stuff, basically looks at the dean and goes, I try not to do this thing because everything I have in my head right, is a question that you can't answer and answer the word idiot. And it's like, and I'm sorry. It's like, I'm sorry, but you're so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, you poor dummy. I'm so sorry. But you're so stupid. And it just goes like that for like 5 solid minutes. And eventually he starts crying and he goes, shh, it's okay. It's okay. It's not okay. You're really stupid. Like, shh, such a dummy. And that's how I feel about Danny Rand in a nutshell.
On that topic, we should probably get back to the show.
Yeah. Well, like, no, it still ties into the show because he's still so stupid in this show, too.
But basic plot.
Because he gets used by Elektra. Spoiler. Not really that spoiler.
We'll explain more as to how.
Okay, so yeah. And here's another thing that pissed me off. Is it starts out with Sigourney Weaver as the main villain, which... inspired choice.
Yeah.
And she's great in this show.
Except for her one little fight scene.
Yeah, like, I feel...
I was like, you did
which one was that?
when they, spoiler, resurrect Elektra. You know,
Oh, yeah.
We all know that happens, though.
Oh, yeah, like this.
But, so, when they do it, they do a thing where, like, she's, like, subduing Elektra, but she's, like, really kind of slow and awkward.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Probably without having a whole lot of fight scenes.
Yeah.
Or any,
like,
for that matter.
I was like, here's the point where you probably could use this stuff double.
Yeah,
okay with it.
probably. But I thought you were very good instantly. As soon as he was introduced, like the mood change and like it became almost more theatrical.
Yeah.
Like the composition, the cinematography. Like it felt it felt more cinematic experience. Like, oh, okay, I'm genuinely interested in this character.
There's even an initial air of a little bit of. So we can't think of the right word. Sympathy for it. Given first thing you're introduced to is like, yeah, you're dying, and there's nothing to be done about it.
I was like, and that could be an interesting setup. I was like, okay, I'm immediately invested. I want to know more about this character. And then things happen to her that pissed me off, but I'll get to that in a little while.
Yeah. Basic plot overall is we should probably get that. So just we know what's happening.
Yeah. So the hand takes front and center, and with Madame Gao.
Bokudo.
I was gonna say Boudica. I was like, no, that's not it.
And Alexandra, aka Sigourney Weaver's character, who's like the head, seems to be like the head of it.
Yeah, she's like in charge. That's the other thing interesting about the character. She's like, okay, what kind of character makes Lady, like Madame Gao, the woman who's been just like the, I know everything for all these shows, suddenly goes, well, I don't think we should. Okay, we'll do it anyway. Can I have a word? Okay.
Yeah.
So like I was like, okay, what kind of woman can make that woman like Madame Gao go, okay, whatever you say, I'll do whatever you want. So like that intrigued me. But yeah, so it looks like their plan is to really take on their war against New York, whatever it is.
I expected it was going to be a cleansing thing that like you tend to get, like something Bane would have done from Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. And I was kind of playing her around as like the actual what they're trying to do is a little anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Which, like, granted, I don't know. That didn't really bother me too much, but like I get why people are pissed off by it. To me, like, I don't know. At that point, like, at least I felt like it was building up to something. Yeah. Rather than what Daredevil Season 2 did, but which led to fucking nothing. Or not what it should have been, in my opinion.
It was kind of the same thing with me for this.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, that's totally fair. I mean, like, I wasn't as invested in this as I was in Daredevil Season 2. I think it really is the big difference, I think.
Yeah.
So when that came, I was like, okay, whatever, I'll go with it. But yeah, go.
So yeah, like everyone kind of gets drawn in for various reasons because of like how they're connected to the Hand. I remember for what Jessica Jones is because she was investigating someone who had connections to him, like he was like an architectural client.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Fist because I must defeat the Hand. The Hand is my sworn enemy, and I'm the only one that can defeat them. Except not really.
I am Tiny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist, protector of Kalan.
Yeah. Daredevil because he dealt with the Hand quite a bit. /
Like, the only one who seems like he knows what he's doing is Daredevil. And then the one that gets pissed at the most for, like, dumb reasons. Like, yeah, okay, they had a thing. Now she's evil. What more do you fucking want?
Yeah. What else? And how did Luke Cage get pulled into it?
Luke Cage was looking into black kids being recruited by the white hat guy.
That's what it was.
And deciding that which turned out they're being recruited by the Hand to clean up their messes, basically.
Yeah. Then they did like a couple mix and matches, like Daredevil becoming Jessica Jones' lawyer.
Yeah, which I like their dynamic. Yeah. I really like Daredevil and Jessica Jones together. They bounce off each other pretty well.
Yeah. It's still a favorite bit. That scarf makes it look like an asshole.
It's your scarf.
And of course, Danny Rand and Luke Cage.
Yeah.
They all kind of come together.
And I love 3 out of 4 of those characters. Because, like, I mean, as dumb as Daredevil was in Season 2, I still really like him. You can still tell there's a genuineness to him that I still really like. Love Jessica Jones still in Season 1. I love her here, too. I think she's great.
I was a little disappointed they didn't go more with her PTSD stuff.
I don't think that would have fit.
Yeah. I don't know, just because they hinted at the fact that apparently she's drinking more to the point where she's just, like, literally in a bar till day.
To be fair, that wasn't far outside Jessica Jones in her own show.
True. But still, they kind of hinted that she was drinking even more.
I'm assuming they'll go more into that in Jessica Jones Season 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, to me, like, more sense to say that for her own show rather than bringing it up here. The first 3 episodes of the show are really just kind of wrapping up the loose ends from their own various TV shows.
Yeah.
So, like, Luke Cage getting out of jail, Daredevil retiring, I guess, and working on his personal life.
Yeah.
Luke Cage, and then Jessica Jones just being Jessica Jones, really.
And Luke Cage just kind of getting sprung out of prison literally in the first several minutes.
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. Apparently Foggy Nelson can do fucking anything if he puts his mind to it.
Well, he does work with Hogarth, right?
Yeah. So, that was the thing that tied in the end of Daredevil Season 2. And Iron Fist just being Iron Fist. Being his... I protect things! I'm super ethereal, guys!
I'll protect you!
You really kind of is. See, that's the Hand. The Hand is a very bad place. I protect people. I'm super ethereal, you guys. Daredevil and Luke Cage like, I think we're really nice. I don't think I have any friends. Jessica Jones like, I'm sorry we ever followed you. Get away from me, you asshole!
Pretty much. Yeah, Jessica just like...
We were trying to be nice to you!
Yeah, Jessica was basically just like I hate you all, why did I get involved in this?
Pretty much, and that seems very fitting for her character, so... Watching those personalities bounce off each other was a lot of fun. I did like to see... Like, again, a lot of it's fan service, like seeing, like, Stick get involved and have him talk with Luke Cage. It's kind of a fun, like, if you put these characters in a room together, what would they say? And that's kind of fun.
Also, I loved how they brought Stick into the fold.
Yeah, Stick was great.
Just like they showed how much of a badass he can be.
Yeah.
Just like, first thing that happens is like, he's captured by Elektra and Alexandra.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He
cuts his own arm off.
Yeah, cuts his hand off, kills Beale, just escapes into an event. It was like...
Spry for a little fucker.
Bravo, you... old bastard.
So, like, there are when this show works at its peak, it works pretty well.
Yeah.
Mostly like when they're all in the same, like the hallway fight, which why is always the hallways are the best fights? Go figure. But like the hallway fight when they're all like meet up for the first time and they all start kicking ass and doing all that shit.
Oh, that reminds me. This is something I talked with Jasmine about. Was like, he's like, once again, Danny, why did you just go straight up to them and?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up because I was like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Yeah.
Because that's after Luke Cage just blows up, rightfully so. But after they interact, they meet for the first time, and you're like, wait, you're a rich guy, and yet you are trying to protect your life by going out and punching people instead of helping you from higher up, which you could easily do because, and I repeat, you are a billionaire.
And he's like, all right, that's what I'm going to do. I meant smartly, you dumbass! Or was it to quote Stick, you thundery dumbass?
Really is. That was like, me and Howard talking about it. I was like, I am enjoying the show for what it's worth, for what it is, but it's like, yeah, Danny Rand is just an insufferable douchebag.
He was still a little bit better compared to Iron Fist, and like I said, it does help that he got knocked down many a peg in this series.
I mean, I liked his interactions with Luke Cage. I think they bounced off well each other, and I would like to see a Heroes for Hire show at some point.
Yeah.
Once they finally rework his character. Except even like the last shot he's in the show is still him being super serious over like I'm now protector of Hell's Kitchen because I got nothing better to do with my billions of dollars I could use to help people. Punching people is just way more fun.
Unfortunately, he spent all his money on repairing Misty Knight's arm.
Is that what's like? I saw the picture of that. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which I don't know all his money. It's like a fraction of
No,
it.
I'm being smart ass.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was over exaggerating.
Fair enough. The new Missing Knight of Black Armix, like Biannual Armix, is pretty cool from the show they saw in Entertainment.
Yeah, so unfortunately, spoiler on that. Misty Knight also shows up in this along with some. I'm glad they got the side characters in as well. They got
I like their interactions.
Yeah, they got they got Hogarth, Karen Page, Foggy,
Trish.
Yeah, Trish.
Trish is in the show too.
Misty, Colleen.
Yeah, there's a lot of side characters here.
Night Nurse.
Yeah.
Because of course she was.
Well, yeah. I was surprised she didn't play a bigger role in introducing the characters to each other. Cause, I felt like I was kind of implied by having her in every one of the shows.
Yeah. That
she would be the one to bring them together. Instead, it's Stick, which isn't a bad thing because I like Stick.
Yeah.
But it's like, that was kind of weird. Although I did love how she just like instantly knew who Luke Cage was talking about. I was like, yeah, I got punched really hard by some guy with a glowing fist. Hold on. Danny, yeah, here. But no, I agree. I like how they brought side characters back. I like their interaction with each other. I like kind of seeing where they're at. Because I really like all these characters outside of Danny Rand. Danny Rand's the only one I don't like.
Yeah.
But I'm literally okay with everyone else. But yeah, let's go more. And and of course, like now the Black Sky, which is Elektra, has been brought back to life, and she's the silent assassin at start who starts remembering who she is.
She's spoiler for another movie. She's basically Rinsler in this thing.
Who's Rinsler?
Tron Legacy.
Oh right, yeah, I completely forgot about that movie.
Everyone did.
I really liked it when I first saw it, but
I liked the first half, and then it just kind of got okay. Let's move it along. Move it along.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it. But anyway, and that kind of led to like what kind of pissed me off because like if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. It's like they really hyped Alexandra up as like this ultimate badass woman that you see again. You only see in one kind of half-assed fight scene, but it's probably like she could probably take them all out very easily if she wanted to. And they make a point of emphasizing that power, not to mention the whole thing where she's dying and she has that desperation going for her. And what happens? She dies. Like
she gets impaled by Elektra when she's not even looking.
And like 2 episodes for the finale, it's like, well, that was a fucking waste. Yeah. You wasted Sigourney Weaver. How do you do that? Oh well, Kevin in the Woods. But,
although she still got. Although at least her death made me laugh at that.
True. But like, let's say you got things like you built up this character, you have this great actress playing her as the main villain, and you don't deliver on that. Instead, you have a woman we've seen fight plenty up to this point. Quite frankly, isn't as interesting. I liked Elektra, but like again, you kind of know where her arc is going.
Yeah.
So that was like, really? You did that just for a shocking twist towards the end.
Because it's like, it's like once
that was a bad
happened,
call.
it was like,
yeah, then
oh no.
So that was like really when I kind of was like, okay, that's kind of when I started to lose interest. Because up to that point, like, I didn't think it was that bad. Like,
it wasn't special.
It was
but
entertaining.
No, yeah.
Like, the fight scenes were good. Like, seeing the Daredevil Iron Fist fight was really good. Watching them all work together and, like, fight together was really fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun fan service in the first half of the show.
Yeah.
But then they killed off the most interesting villain they had, and then next thing you know, then it just gets repetitious. It's like stuff we've seen before. I've seen Colleen fight what's his name before.
Because like it felt to me like it did kind of turn. It was almost the same basic plot as Daredevil season 2 for me.
It really was.
And that when I realized that, it was like, oh.
And like more like it just kind of got repetitive. Like, okay, like I liked the first fight when all the defenders are fighting the fingers of the hand. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then they do it again, and again, and it's like you have Daredevil and Elektra fight again, that we saw in Daredevil season 2, and many other fights in the show so far. You had them fighting more groups of random thugs. Okay, I've seen that before too. You had a whole distraction plot point there that really didn't need to be there. You had Iron Fist not using his Iron Fist for a good chunk of the fight, and then being the MacGuffin at the end.
Yep.
Which that's one thing that pissed me off about the Iron Fist show too. Is like, you know what the show's called? I talked to Howard about this. Like, what is the show called? Iron Fist. You know what you haven't seen much of? The fucking Iron Fist.
Yeah. Well, no. Was it someone said? I remember there's some review that always stuck with me. It's like, we have a guy called the Immortal Iron Fist who's supposed to be fighting, Shaolin the Undying Dragon, and what do we get? We get suits with occasional martial arts
and 2 red beady fucking eyes for the dragon. That pissed me off too. It's like, oh, you fucking liars. You told me I was gonna see the dragon in this show. That 2 eyes don't count, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You promised me a dragon. I want to see a dragon. Give me some Game of Thrones something.
Yeah. In this, what do we get for a dragon?
Skeleton. Yeah, which is like, okay, so you're telling me the whole substance that keeps people alive is just
dragon juice?
Dragon juice. That just sounds wrong.
Brown dragon bone.
That's what dragon was what I was going to go with, but dragon juice just seems like, when you put the mouth here, or you're totally, it's just going to suck out that dragon juice. Need the Immortal Iron Fist to do it. Can I just use my Iron Fist? No. You haven't channeled your chi enough to use both hands. Just put that in your mouth so you shut up for a couple of minutes.
And this led to the other problem. You realize they weren't trying to destroy New York. It was more like, it's collateral damage for
which I could that didn't bother me too much, but I totally get if it did. That's a complaint I completely understand. I was more like, at that point I wasn't I kind of lost investment after they killed off Sigourney Weaver, so at that point I was like...
And Stick.
Stick I saw coming. Sigourney Weaver was like, and Stick at that point had been in the series long enough to establish who he was.
Yeah.
They could have done so much more with
Sigourney Weaver, they Marvel villained her.
Yeah, and that was... which is disappointing, because she could have been a great villain, but they cut her off too soon. So I thought that was really disappointing. At that point, I was like, alright, I'm kind of at this point in the game.
And also, so what they did at that point, before that, basically everyone except for Iron Fist who's been captured because he sucks.
You have one job, Iron Fist.
Be unconscious in a chair and die.
And then obviously manipulated by Elektra to open the one door you were told not to fucking open.
Yeah. How did she do it? Punch me! Sidestep.
She pulled a rhino.
She pulled in how do you deal with the heavy enemies in Arkham.
It's like, there's actually a joke in the Spectacular Spider-Man when the Rhino actually pulls that trick on Spider-Man at one point when he knocks down all the columns. He goes, "Miss me again? Not even for you." He looks around. "Oh, please don't tell me I fell for a trick I once used on Shocker." And then the entire roof collapses. But it's just like, you're such a dummy. Such a dummy. You're so stupid. You're not... How have you lived this long? You're so stupid. You're so stupid. You're so frustratingly stupid.
Anyway, back to what happened before.
It so frustrates me how stupid this character is.
Your face is getting red.
Is it really? Oh, God damn.
But, so what happens right before that?
So stupid. Sorry, go ahead. The domestic terrorism thing.
Yeah. The Council of Competent Heroes
decides to blow up a building.
Yeah.
Like, just rip the Band-Aid off right there, and everyone's like, granted, everyone's like, are we really... They even point out, are we going to do something that's essentially domestic terrorism?
Yeah. Like, everyone points that out. It's like...
And you're like, well, we're still going to do it. Like, that's the point that I was, like, kind of iffy and Ritu was like, I have a hard time believing these characters would be okay with this.
Yeah. And also, it irked me once again, because this happened with Daredevil, well, specifically end of Season 2, I should say.
That's really what's in Season 2, really.
He's supposed to be the guy that doesn't kill. He's supposed to wrestle with it, but he doesn't reach that. And then he's basically like, oh yeah, we can kill these fuckers.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It's like, that was more like, even Luke Cage, who like fights against it, I have a feeling he'd be like, no, we're not doing this, and if you try, I will break all your arms.
Yeah, he would, and it made sense that he held out the longest.
Yeah, but still, even then, it's like, like, I can see Colleen going for it, but, like, Jessica Jones and Daredevil, no, and it's,
Yeah, it rubbed me that kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
I didn't like that either. That bothered me, too, and that, about a lot of people, from what I understand, that was another big complaint. It was like, I have a hard time believing these characters go for this. Even if, like, ends the problem once and for all, Daredevil's whole thing was, like, it could end the problem once and for all, but I'm better than that.
Yeah.
Like, that's his arc for 2 seasons.
Yeah. What is Zack Snyder on?
Oh, no. We don't bring up the Z word. No, I'm not going there. I gotta fight it. It's like, and another thing! No, I'm not doing that. Not today. Not in this video.
Think of Marvel as a whole. It's good.
It's still pretty good. Like I still really like Marvel Universe for its flaws, for its missteps.
Yeah,
and that's what this is. Like, it's a misstep, but it's not a failure.
Yeah.
I mean, like, pulling this off with this, the characters are very diverse in very different shows.
Yeah, great interactions. You know. And
yeah, like this is always gonna be tricky to pull off, regardless.
Yeah. What else? Oh, last thing we forgot to mention was kind of how it also ended. Was they did right after they do their domestic terrorism thing and supposedly kill all the Hand. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no consequences.
Yeah.
There are no consequences for blowing up a building in central New York.
Yeah, it's like, how do they get away with it? It's like, so as long as we don't discuss it, as long as you sign this NDA, you're good. It's like,
that makes no sense.
It's like, I wonder what this how the kid in A Monster Calls feels.
It makes as much sense as Ghostbuster 2, how no one suddenly believes ghosts exist. Like, a giant marshmallow man walked downtown. There were cameras. How do you not... That pissed me off so badly. and Ghostbusters
Even as a kid, that bugged the crap out of me. It's like, but you all saw it.
Yeah.
Holy frauds.
And, like, same thing here is, like, there is no way somebody blew up a building in central New York and nobody took a photo or a video of it. There's no way. In today's modern world, not a chance in hell. So, and even then, somebody would fucking notice if a building was gone.
Yeah, well, they noticed it. I think they said, like, what was their excuses, like some demolitions thing or something just went wrong or some bull crap like that.
The one-time conspiracy theorists could have come in handy.
But, so yeah, what that happens, you know, Daredevil's fighting Elektra, trying to keep her busy, because also he probably wants to die with her.
I guess, yeah.
Building comes crumbling down. Oh, boo-hoo, Daredevil, you're dead. Not really.
Yeah, like, anyone believed that.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I like seeing these characters react to that. Like Foggy and Carrot, I like seeing out their kind of response to that.
Like, I liked that shot in the end when they're just, like, waiting for him to come in and he doesn't.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
That was an effective shot.
Even though we know it's a fake out, that was a good use of visual right there.
But even then, there's a part where they show them, like, alive there, and I'm like, bullshit. Unless like there's this maybe he really was God. I don't know.
Because I know they're setting up for the Born Again storyline, and they said
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like because remember you said they hinted at that in the second season, and the way that the third season Defenders ends.
Mm-hmm.
Like they pulled that straight out of the comic.
Okay. See, I've still got to a lot of Daredevil. Like I got still read Bendis' run.
I actually just bought Born Again.
Oh, nice.
Not far in, but I'm trying to read it.
I want to buy like the omnibuses of like Bendis' run and who wrote the
This was mostly Bendis and Miller that were the main ones.
Well, like the sequel series when the Night Captor Bendis was actually really good too. It was the same guy who made Captain America for a while.
Oh, okay.
Ed Brubaker. Brubaker did his run on Daredevil was fantastic too.
Cool.
That's when they did the whole he went to prison, that whole thing. That was mostly Brubaker. He did phenomenal work with that. So even then, actually, there's actually a lot of good runs in a row of Daredevil. Even the lighthearted one that came after that for a while when he moved to San Francisco was supposed to be really good too.
Cool.
That one was a cosplay. That one was a appearance like they did a Christmas party that I want to do for a cosplay. Where it's just he comes in. This is the part everyone knows he's Daredevil. It's him wearing like little devil horns with a glass and a big square that says "I'm not Daredevil." It's like I want to do that for a cosplay one of these days. But anyway, so I mean that's really like the core of the series. Like I would say, yeah, it's flawed. I still liked it for what it's worth.
Yeah, it's like
I want to try again.
Yeah, it was shaky, but it was for me. It was shaky, but it was on the edge of positive.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was close to being just kind of meh, but it's like there was enough. I was like, you know what? No, I'll say I like it. I don't love it.
No, I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Because like it is very flawed, and the part of me kind of wishes it took its time more. Mostly because like the entire series takes place a span of 3 days. Like, I kind of would have liked these. You have a team called the Defenders. They never call themselves the Defenders or set themselves as a team. I would have liked to actually see them try the Avengers route, where they actually we are a team. Let's try to work together.
Right.
And honestly, maybe solve more than one crime.
Because it's like for me, it's like the episode thing is a mixed bag. It's like I would love to see a bit more development here and there, but on the other hand, which I will say I like. That meant no lulls in the story.
True.
So it's like, I'll take the good where I can take. I'll take the good where I can.
Yeah. I mean, this was always going to be a tricky project to begin with. I'd say more so than the Avengers, because I felt the Avengers was a more tightly knit plan from beginning to end. This one felt like there were more loose connectivity than before.
Also, because arguably Avengers had someone who's technically better, depending on who you ask. I mean, Joss Whedon, he's had more experience like that. Whereas with this, we had the same showrunners as the second season of Daredevil, which is also the other.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. And that was the other reason. Like, oh my god, this really is Daredevil season 2.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
I'm just glad that Scott Buck is out of Iron Fist, and two Inhumans.
The dog would be cute.
Want to go see that in IMAX on Friday?
Is that this Friday?
Yep.
I might, actually. God damn it, I really have to go see movies.
Hey, at least we got something done today.
True. So yeah, like overall, if I had to rank them, I'd still say this is better than Iron Fist, but not as good as Luke Cage.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm looking forward to see what they do next with the show. Like, I would say this is a misstep. They can recover from this.
Yeah. They didn't go full blown Iron Fist. That's all that mattered.
No, the Netflix shows have kind of dipped in quality a bit since Jessica Jones, unfortunately. But I think they can recover. I think they can learn their lessons because this was still an ambitious project.
Yeah,
and it wasn't as successful as what they did with Avengers. But for what they did, for what they tried, I still give them props for what it's worth. And then okay. Outside of Iron Fist, you gave me 3 out of 5. That's still better than average.
Yeah.
That I still really like. So, yeah, I think that's all I can really think of to talk about.
Same here. And just as well, because it looks like we're kind of low on stuff, too.
Oh, probably memory.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, so we're going to wrap up there. So, see you guys.
Yeah. Later.